welcome to the Random Encounter Show. I'm Deathstalker V, coming in for our weekly table talk episode late on Tuesday night. Yeah, that's the story around here. The chaos that's been unfolding. Listen, get you something to drink. Come sit at the table because I have a myriad of things I want to talk about. We will be getting into some solo gaming this episode for those of you who just can't wait any longer. We'll be covering some of that here. Troll Lord Games, I went and purchased some stuff from them last week. They recently re-released something that has been out of print since, I believe, 2005 or 6. They're bringing it back, and if you love Castles and Crusades as a solo player, this is something that's going to be a must-have for you. Yeah, we'll dive into this. I got some other things I want to dive in as well. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on around the Fortress of Doom. Some of you may actually care. I don't know. Last week, we started the week off, coming off our holiday break, announcing that I'm going full-time for the Random Encounter Show and its associated projects. Yeah, super exciting. So I've been excited all week, but this week has been chaos AD around here. Yeah. Number one thing, we opened up our memberships. Have you checked that out yet? Steve Priest has done some beautiful custom emoji. I've done a few. He's done our badges and such. Come join the party. Yeah. I think we're having everybody that's, we got around a dozen members so far. We're having a great time over in the community post section and such, and we're going to be further releasing some new features and whatnot. From there, you can find it on our channel about page, yeah? But yeah, we opened up the membership. We had people jump in. Very surprising, so it's up to me to give you your money's worth, yeah? I'm going to do my best to. But very exciting. But one of the things that happened last week, well, did we talk about this in the holiday? I've been cutting trees now for like 2 weeks. We had all these trees in front of the Fortress of Doom. Listen to me. Here's some life advice. Do never, no matter what, bring wisteria home and plant it in your yard. Yeah, this is some life advice. Whoever, the people who owned the house before us, they had brought wisteria, and there were some Fraser trees in the front of the house. There's a bunch of them. Yeah, they sort of a privacy between the road and the house. Anyways, these wisteria, they planted it, and it grew up into these trees. And it's a literal nightmare. It's a literal nightmare. To control wisteria, you're signing up for a full-time job. It's very hard to kill. The vines grow, 500 feet long in the span of a day or two. They have all these other vines coming off of them. Every time one of these vines goes up a tree and comes down the other side, it goes into the ground, it roots, and it sprouts up 50 more vines. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, it's something out of the monster manual. It's a killer plant. Don't get around it. Whatever you do, don't bring it home. I hate it. Look, it's a beautiful plant. You know, for like the 2 weeks it blooms, it has these cascades of flowers coming down. Beautiful. You know, but it's definitely not welcome here. I'm doing my best to kill this stuff. Anyways, needless to say, earlier this year, they had finally overtaken the trees, and the trees began dying. The wife got after me. We got to cut these trees down. Blah. I said, I'm lazy. Here's what we're going to do. We're not going to cut these trees in 120 degrees, Fahrenheit temperatures during the summer. We're going to wait for it to cool down. We'll let the trees stay where they are. They can't fall. All the wisteria is holding it up. It can't fall. So it's going to stand there. It's going to season over the end of the summer and the fall. And when winter gets here, I'll go outside. We'll take them down section by section and cut them up and use them for firewood. Yeah, we have a nice big wood heater here at the Fortress of Doom. I said that way It's not a whole lot of cutting and then hauling off stuff here and there. No, we just cut up a little bit, burn it, then cut up a little bit more, burn it. Yeah, if you're going to be as lazy as I am, you got to be smart. A little bit anyways, yeah? Anyways, these Fraser trees, you want to talk about those? The red tip Frasers. They start off as beautiful little ornamental bushes, then they grow sky high in just a couple of years. But they don't have a main trunk. Instead, they have like 30 trunks that come out. About yay big around, give it a good 8 inches or so. They have these trunks that grow out and they bush out. They're actually a very nice plant if you wanted to do like a boundary or something in between your home and the road like this house is. Very nice plant. But they themselves, they're a nightmare to cut. But anyways. So 2 weeks ago or so, we started actually cooling down enough. Took the chainsaw out, cutting the trees down. Started on one end, heading toward the other end. And that's what I've been doing. I'm covered in scratches and I'm beat to death. Every joint I have hurts everything. We'll get into that in a second. Anyways, with us getting the memberships rolling and with us going full time on the channel, the internet we had, we got it, I think we got it almost the same day that we put up our first video with Steve Crompton, yeah? The internet was okay. It pulled off of the 4G LTE local tower here. We have no landlines here. We're way off in the middle of nowhere. This is the keep on the borderlands for real. You go outside my yard, you got to roll for random encounters. It was turkeys the other day. But anyways, that was the only way we were getting any kind of internet to actually get on YouTube. And it worked good, but it wasn't ideal. Yeah? Especially if we ever wanted to get into doing live stuff and other things. We just needed to upgrade. About a month ago, a new company arrived into town. And they're offering packages at speeds just well beyond what you could get off the 4G LTE towers. Even beyond 5G. So I called them up and talked to them, and their plans, the plan we bought gives us, we're getting around 80 megs download and 10 to 12 megs upload. Yeah, for $59 a month. We were paying $99 a month for the old internet that wasn't getting anywhere near that. Yeah, but we could always upgrade later if we want to a medium package, which gets us around 250 meg download, and I don't know the upload speed. Anyways, needed to upgrade the internet so I can do more with you guys. The people come in and install the internet. They install it. They say, "Are you happy?" I say, "Well, let's run some speed tests here. This is how we're going to know if we're happy or not." So we run speed test. And the speed test came up. It's pulling like 20 meg download. And the upload's in the kilobytes. So I'm like, hang on, bud. Nobody's leaving till we get internet. Because I'd already packed up the modem and all the stuff from the other company and sent it to them. Canceled this service. I said, you're not leaving the Random Encounter show without internet. This isn't going to happen. So they messed around, and finally they said, we have to leave. We've called our boss. There's something wrong and we don't know what it is, but we're going to get it fixed. This was on Friday. I said, okay. Anyways, talked to the boss, I think Saturday he called me, and it's a complete mystery of I said, all right. So I sort of gave him a little bit of time, but Sunday I had enough. Yeah? You can't keep this show back, I promise you. I know a little bit about wireless technology. I'm a radio nerd. I'm a book nerd, a game nerd, a radio nerd. I'm just a nerd in general. But I mess around with ham, GMRS, all kinds of radio frequencies, ultra high band, VHF, etc. You know, I love all this stuff. And I mess around with electronics repair and such. But anyways, I got to thinking, I said, why is the download 20 meg and the upload like 3 kilobytes, 6 kilobytes? I said, that tells me that something's interfering with the signal here at the house. Yeah? So I went outside, and how this internet works is they broadcast it to you. They rent space on one of the cell phone towers nearby, and they broadcast it wirelessly. So I went outside and I took a look at the antenna. And I said, this antenna doesn't look like it's aimed at any cell phone tower in this area or any tower that it should be. So I'm going to mess around with it. And I also got to looking at it, and it was aimed through one of the trees we have to cut down. Yeah? So I said, if I remove that tree and I adjust this antenna, we'll probably fix this internet problem. So Saturday night and Sunday, I worked on this massive Fraser tree. Yeah, it's covered in wisteria vines. You got to cut all these trunks. They won't come down. They literally just hang in the air. And this one had the power line to her home through it. Yeah? I don't know. Why am I going off on this so much? Anyway, needless to say, Fraser wood. Yeah, I don't know, guys, if you've cut wood or know about wood. This Fraser wood, this is the hardest wood I've ever cut. I've ever seen. It'd make a hickory run for its life. This is hard wood. I don't know. We won't go too far in it. Anyways. I'm taking this tree down, and I'm getting toward the center of the tree finally, and we're getting towards some of the bigger trunks, if you will, coming out of the ground. And I have a pole saw that I'm using. That way I can sort of reach in there. You know, it's got a reach of about 10 foot on a pole. I can reach in there and zap through the trunks with the pole saw. As I was getting near completed, won't you know that all of a sudden I heard a strange noise come from the chainsaw, and my blade jumped off of the bar and it hung loose there. And I said, that's weird. I just had sharpened it, replaced the bar oil, and adjusted the tension. I said, that shouldn't have happened. So getting the chainsaw down, opening the chainsaw up, I come to learn that, hey, we somehow broke the tension screw that pushes the whole, that moves the bar in and out and keeps tension on the blade. Yeah, you never want it to get too loose. But we somehow broke the tension screw. And at that point, I became, I get Incredible Hulk mad. Yeah? I may be getting old and fat now, but I grew up on the farm. I still got my country strength. And especially when I get mad. Yeah, but I wanted my internet. You're not going to come in between me and doing this show. So I throw the chainsaw down. Yeah, I know it's completely useless at this point. We're going to have to order parts to get it fixed. I throw it down, and I go out to the tree I was working on, and I grab one of the trunks that I had previously cut, and I just started shaking the tree. I probably look like a madman. I noticed my neighbor was outside and they ran inside. But I started shaking the tree and pulling on the tree, and eventually I started hearing some cracking, yeah? So that just made me go at it more vigorously. I started shaking, and all of a sudden, the entirety of the tree, everything came down at once all around me. Yeah, I'm covered in scratches. My joints feel like, I feel like I've been ran over by the Hells Angels gang. Yeah, every motorcycle they've got's ran over me. And they hit me with tire irons as they went by. But this tree fell. I wanted to pull it down a section at a time. The entire tree fell. It fell all over me. Luckily, I didn't get hit by any main part, but I've got vines all over me. It's just insanity out in the yard. The wife comes running out because of the crash. I look up and the power line looks like a rubber band bouncing up and down because one of the branches slapped that. And I'm like, oh great, we're about to lose power too. Let's just get this situation, fully under control here. I don't know, guys. Anyways, the tree's down. Ordered parts for the chainsaw, and we will continue that work. But once I got it down, then I got the ladder and we went around and we've adjusted the antenna for the internet, and lo and behold, we're back online. Yeah, better than before. Like I said, you can't stop this show. I don't know. Yeah, what else do you want to talk about? You want to talk about Cepheus Universal. Yeah. This is a game just announced for released by Zagyg Games. I've got a screenshot on the picture of it somewhere. Come on. Uh, it is a new iteration of the Cepheus engine, which is a derivative of Traveler, the 2D6 classic game. Uh, Zagyg Games, Paul, sent me over some Hostile books and stuff on the holiday special. Have you watched that yet? You need to. Anyways, I really like what he did with Hostile. And I had some previous works he had put out years ago under Zagyg for using for Traveler as a solo gamer. Uh, anyways, needless to say, I instantly fell in love with Hostile. Instantly fell in love with Hostile. We'll be taking a look at that next week. Yeah, because Deathstalker V, he sold a few games and such. We went and bought the entirety of Hostile and some Zagyg game and stuff. Yeah, massive package on the way from Lulu. It hit the mail today. Yeah, after quite a long wait. So very excited for that. In the meantime, as I said, I was throwing my hat into the arena to work, help out, assist, do what I can for some indie game publishers and such. Paul has taken me on as an editor, and I'm getting to work, proofread, make suggestions. In the end, I don't know what all I'll be doing, but we'll just say general editing on Cepheus Universal, and holy smokes, guys, this is going to be one hot sci-fi game. You know, it's Hostile's a hot sci-fi game that I think just fell up under so many people's radar. We're not going to let that stand. Yeah? But right now, here the last couple of days, I'm going full time. He aims to get the book out by February. No promises on that, but that's his intention. So I'm going to work just as much as I can to get it as close as we can to that release date. And just, I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait. But like I said, very impressive system. We'll be seeing it around here as soon as it's released. I promise you. So that's good. Yeah. Other than that, I'm working on some stuff for the members. We're working on some editing stuff. Getting with Troll Lord Games on a few things before we do the deep delve, set up things and everything. I'm super excited about that. And doing some work for the members over on the on our channel about page. Did we already talk about that? I can't even remember. Who knows? Anyways, let's just slow down a second, have something to drink, and let's get into some gaming here. I put an order in to Troll Lord Games last week. Got our package in. I showed it off on the community post a little bit, but I really wanted to sit and talk about it. You guys know I'm primarily a solo gamer. So anything that I find that's just absolutely wonderful for solo gaming, I'm going to bring to you. Yeah? Now, we're heading to the deep delve. We've talked about this game at length in a few places. We have a table talk on where D&D left off, Castles and Crusades picks up kind of deal. You guys know I'm a huge fan of this. For those who have been watching YouTube in the solo scene now for a while, you might have seen me pop up in various places and talk about this system. Yeah, here on YouTube, especially across Facebook groups and such. If you want to use class and level systems for solo gaming. Yeah, I actually don't recommend class and level systems for solo gaming. I think their structure just doesn't lead to the deepest, best gaming you can get. But there's always a rule to the exception, and that is Castles and Crusades for many, many reasons. And we will devote, like I said, a whole deep delve toward those reasons. And in the deep delve, there will be solo content for Castles and Crusades. But yeah, absolutely love this system. I'm always watching what Troll Lord's going to put out. So it was time for us to make our order. First thing we put in our cart was this dice bag. Yeah, I did not know I needed another dice bag until I saw this one. And boy, is it nice. It's really thick leather. It's super soft. And it's big. Yeah, I can appreciate a big dice bag like this because I have so many dice. Yeah, I can put all my little lovelies in one bag. You know, another dice bag I have that I use is this one Troll Lord Games put out for Swords and Wizardry years ago. Uh, so yeah, absolutely love the new dice bag. But you know the rule for a new dice bag, right? That if you buy a new dice bag, you have to buy some new dice. So inside the bag, we got some dice I picked up this week as well. And they are new, even though they stopped production of these in 1979. I said, give me some old school dice, give me some sharp edged dice. I haven't had any in a while. But what are these? These are, we'll get you sort of focused in there. These come from Windmill Hobbies. Like I said, they shut down operations in 1979. They beat a whole lot of more popular producers to the market for making pretty much full sets of the polyhedral dice used in Dungeons and Dragons, wargaming, etc. Windmill. The dice are gorgeous. Really, they are. They're a little bit smaller than your game science dice and such. But what do we have here? If we can get the camera to focus, we'll show these off a little bit. We've got I don't think the white ones will probably show up because I'm so white. It just looks like part of my skin. But you know, we got the D4. I like the D4 here. Why? Because it actually has sort of these squared off points. Yeah. This one's not going to kill you so bad if you wake up in the middle of the night and you forgot that you scattered D4s on your floor and you step on them. Yeah, this would be more equivalent of stepping on a Lego. But nowhere near as tragic as stepping on Hot Wheel cars in the middle of the night on a pair of stairs. That's happened to me. Yeah? Anyways... Anyways, these are just some beautiful dice. Let's show off a few. The orange should show up pretty good. We got the D6. Look at that nice sharp corner D6. These were still had the sprue points on them. I cut them off, filed them down a little bit. Massive D8. As you can see, these need to be inked in. So that's something that I will do. We got 3 D4s, various colors. The yellow seems to show up best on the camera. Yeah? Absolutely love these. And then we got 3 of the 20-sided dice, which are actually D10s. We've talked about these before on the channel, that I absolutely love these. Yeah, let's kill my face trying to focus in there and show these beauties off. We got 3 of them. We got a black one as well, but the black's not going to show up like the white on our camera. If you're wondering, because you didn't see the episode where we talked about 20-sided D10s, these have 0 through 9 repeated twice. Yeah, you could use them as you normally would D10s and roll for D100 rolls, percentile rolls, etc. But the main way you wanted to, that was one of the main ways, but the main way you wanted to use this for a D20 is that, like I said, it has 2 sets of numbers, 0 through 9 twice. You paint the 2 sets alternate colors. Say you did white and red or black and green. One of your colors would represent teens. So a 0, a green, if we said green represented our teens on our die and we rolled a green 0, that would be 20. You know, if we rolled a green 1, that would be 11. If we rolled the other color, 0, that would be 10. Yeah, I don't know. It's trying to explain D10 dice is apparently beyond me because, my goodness, I never saw a video cause so much controversy. People's got their own ways of doing things. I just try to make it easy on people. Anyways, love the dice bag. Love the Windmill hobby dice. I can't wait to ink these in. But I said, it's just that this is what this bag needs. Now, will these probably end up in this bag? No. But I fulfilled the rule. I bought new dice when I bought the dice bag. I'm digging through some childhood boxes of mine. And I've got some other stuff out of some other boxes. And I'm going to show you guys at some point some of my original dice from back in the day. and some of the dice that I still use. I think that'll be fun. And I got some funky ones and stuff. So, yeah. I know we got a few dice fans here. How could we not? John Stopel watched the video. He's the dice master. Anyways, where are we going? It's time to talk about this. Let me get something to drink. This has just been re-released by Troll Lord Games, by the way. I'll put a link in the description below. But we have Castle Zagyg. It's Volume 1. It's the Yggsburgh campaign setting by Gygax. Let's see what we can get in the camera there without too much glare. Yeah, these Troll Lord games, they can be glossy. They're books anyway. They can yeah, the Troll Lords themselves are probably pretty shiny, but their books can be shiny as well. But yeah, oh my goodness. I was so excited to see that they were able to start re-releasing Gary's work that he did for Troll Lord Games before his passing. I'm sure a lot of you know, but for those that don't, Gary, before his passing, you know, he worked for various companies through the years after he founded TSR and then was booted. The world's wild, isn't it? That's why you always got to be careful. You always got to protect what's yours. But eventually, toward the end of his lifespan, he was hired by Troll Lord Games, and he came in and he did all sorts of various projects and such. And I'm really interested. We're going to be talking with Davis and Steven Chenault, the two brothers who founded Troll Lord Games. And I'll be very interested when we do the interview to talk to them about working with Gary and what all Gary got up to while he was with their company. I'm sure there's a lot of stories there. I know that he served as an inspiration to those two, and I'm sure they have a lot of stories because basically they ended up working with a lot of people's childhood heroes. Yeah, for us that grew up playing Dungeons and Dragons and such games, you know, that Gary Gygax, his World of Greyhawk, his early works, for me it was the first edition AD&D manual. Yeah, that to me is the single most important book that's ever been released in the hobby of role-playing game, the whole industry. Yeah, it was that book that set my imagination on fire. It was that book that taught me the most about this hobby. Yeah. Anyways, Gary did this. I believe this was published in 2005. The Castle Zagyg stuff has been out there, but it's been out of print after Gary's death until from what I understand, until the estate was settled, which happened very recently. So I'm looking forward to this. They're doing it in 6 volumes. Castle Zagyg is going to be very familiar with people who are familiar with Greyhawk. AD&D setting. Yeah? So anyways, with this first volume, Castle Zagyg is a huge, massive mega dungeon. Yeah, this first volume, you're actually getting the environments and all the stuff around the castle. Essentially what you're getting is a massive sandbox with hex crawl to use as either a group or as a solo player. As a group, it's going to be quite apparent that the things that make this great for solo are going to make it very easy to game master for the group play. But let's just read here for a second. Beneath the shadows of the ancient dreaded Castle Zagyg stands the fortified town of Yggsburgh. Its stout walls and cobbled ways give ample refuge to those bold and worthy adventurers who come to the Eastmark to plunder the dungeon deeps of the Mad Mage. You hear anything familiar there? Beyond the protective covering of the town's walls and the deep waters of the Urt and Nemo rivers lie a vast rolling countryside from the glittering knobs to the lonely valley. Enter the environs of that most dread magi, Test your mettle and make ready for the Hero's Forge that is Castle Zagyg. What to expect? You get one full-color, double-sided, fold-out 24 by 30 map of the Yggsburgh. We'll take a look at this in a second. On the flip side, a map of the town of Yggsburgh. 9 interior maps of points of interest. 600 plus non-player characters. 30 plus random encounter and events tables. Solo gamers, are your ears perking up? 50 plus random encounters offering hundreds of adventure venues. Orders of battle for everything from goblins to knights. New monsters, magic items, and spells for castles and crusades. Role-playing game. Crime and punishment. Over 1,000 adventure and adventure ideas. Yeah. Like I said, are your ears not perked up? Let's talk about this for just a moment. First off, let's look at this. Let's look at this map here. Now get water all over me, yeah? Let's look at the map here. The first map you're going to get. Let's see, does that focus in at all? You guys will just have to bear with me. First map, what we got way back here. There we go. First map you're going to get is a very detailed map of the city of Yggsburgh and the surrounding areas of the city. As you can see, it's totally keyed. There's all you have to do is, if you go anywhere in this map, is look up the numbered location based on the map. You'll find it in the book under the Yggsburgh section. On the other side is the full land around Yggsburgh and Castle Zagyg. It's a massive hex crawl, and it is again keyed to adventure hooks, encounters, places, events, etc. Yeah, exciting stuff. In for a good hex crawl. I'm always in for a good hex crawl. Yeah. Let's see if we can. This is the thing about maps when I buy them. It's the folding up part's always tricky, like some kind of puzzle. Anyways, what are you getting here? So you see, you got a nice, massive sandbox to play in with a really big free town of Yggsburgh inside. But that's not the only town, actually. There's a few. The highlights to this book is that the first section of the book gives you a very detailed history and setting in campaign material to understand the history of this land, some of the main places, and even the peoples of the land. Now, really none of this information is going to ruin any kind of surprises you have later on in the game. We'll talk about that in a minute. What it does supply you with is very, very detailed approaches to this campaign setting world, down to uniforms, heraldry on different buildings, headmasters, just everything you can imagine that your characters would see and want to know about in this setting. That Gary really went through and he really described everything. Yeah. When it comes to the setting, it's broke down, like I said, by locations. Each location comes with some general information about the location, and then most of them have something called adventure hooks. These are absolutely fantastic. Many of them have various adventure hooks. You could hook these up to a percentile chance that your character, that wherever this adventure hook comes from, that your characters find out about it as you're playing solo. I think that's fantastic. Another thing that's fantastic about these adventure hooks is that they relate to other places and other peoples within the setting. So if you take off on this adventure hook and you're going, I don't know, over to a forest, this 4 or 5 days away, once you get there, somehow the information that you get from that area is going to be related to that adventure hook that you picked up on back in town. Another thing is that just about every location that where you would want to know how the inside of it looked, our dungeon looked, our cave system looked, our little village or town, they've provided maps. You know, here's an example. Here's a location called the Cursed Mine. You get a nice map with keyed locations. Let's see if we can find another map just flipping through really quick. And this book's fully illustrated too, so I mean it's a beautiful tome. We get that's tables. Here's an example. It's the Outs Inn. Yeah, so all major buildings, all major areas and stuff typically have maps for them. Guess what else they have? Maps, adventure hooks, full details, NPCs that are there, personalities written out, different things about the NPCs and their history, along with their stats. Many places in this book have tables associated with them, random tables, not just encounters, but random things that you would do. Some of them have modification tables on them. So let's pull up some examples of what we're talking about here. What am I doing? I'm not even in the place. Yeah, I absolutely love this. Then we'll get into some other stuff. But let me pull up over here. There it looked like a table. Was that a table? Yes, it was a table, but not the table we're looking for. There's some tables in the back of this book, and we're going to talk about those in a second. What is that? That's another encounter area. Here we go, the Dale of Ringstones. This one has day and night encounters. Yeah, and that's not even a very exciting table, even though I love those kind of tables. There's even like the inns have tables. Even a salon in here had a table. Oh yeah, here's some tables, you know, for the Jolly Fisherman Ale House. Yeah, and check this out. It has tables for how many patrons of what status could be in during what times of day and night. It also has a menu for that particular ale house. I'm not sure if the camera got focused in there or not. If it didn't, I apologize, guys. But yeah, this is just fantastic stuff. There's a boat shop, and it talks about what could be in the boat shop, etc. This is really well set up. Let's go to the appendices back here. The appendices have different tables for the entirety of the setting. Yeah? Appendix D, random encounter and events table. You get one for the road, like main roads. You get one for tracks or trails, open grasslands, hills, rivers, woods, wooded hills, the Witchwood, Lakewood, the Dire Forest. So all these locations have different tables for them. Streams, marshes. You get it broke down to daytime, nighttime. You get random animals and monsters. You even get a condition table. So not only do you roll up and maybe you roll up some goblins, but you may roll up some goblins and you roll and you get they're injured, or they're wounded, or they're trapped, or they're starving, or whatever. It gives you a condition. I really like that. They also give you something very important, which is the random animal, monster, or NPC activity. What are they doing when you show up on them? Are dozing? Are they entering into a den, a lair? Grooming itself, engaged in mating. Hey, hey, a little voyeur action going on over in the town of Yggsburgh, right? Eating, seeking food, fighting, out hunting, etc. This all makes for great solo gaming, guys. You get a weather activity table. This broke down for the seasons. You get some more supplement material. Get our common weather events, fauna, plant life, etc. You get magic items and spells. Really, you know, overall, let's show some of these tables off that we just talked about, though. Yeah, just so you can see. And I love that they have the alternating colors and such. Yeah, this whole book is just ready to go. You know that how could it be any better than a great hex crawl that has a good tome of a book that fleshes out the entirety of the setting, has most all tools you'll need for solo play in the book already geared toward the book. Yeah? And it's written by Gary Gygax himself. I mean, what more do you need? Throw in some type of oracle, maybe some inspiration or story tables, and you might every once in a while need a different table and maybe some basic dice-driven AI tactics for combat for your enemies. And you've got a full-fledged solo game ready to go right out of the book. For game masters out there, you know, running this for a group, this would be really easy. And I'm telling you, the information that I've been through this book, I've read about halfway through it. Yeah? The information inside this is just fantastic. Another thing that I like is that because it's in a hex crawl style manner, is that it's not a railroad story adventure modules. Those you can make work for solo, but they're not ideal. These are the top things that are ideal for solo. You know, that other than maybe getting familiar with the land and reading about certain things that you need to know up front, that your characters would probably know, you can basically start off on the hex map from your starting area. And as you move along, use your encounter tables and such. But if you come up on a marked area on the map, you just open the book and flip over, and you're going to see what your characters see. If you have something set up where you roll that maybe this location has an adventure hook, you might not even want to read the adventure hook beforehand, but you might give it a percentage chance and just roll a percentile roll to see if somehow that adventure hook becomes available. Maybe an NPC at the site says, hey, I need your help. There's this going on. Maybe your characters find clues. However you want to work this into your game if you use this book at the table. But yeah, I absolutely love this. I already know we're going to, at some point, be diving into this. I'm going to go for all, what is this? It's supposed to be 6 volumes. I'm going to be going for all 6 volumes of the Castle Zagyg. Yeah, this is an amazing setting. Like I said, those of you familiar with Greyhawk and such, you're going to feel right at home here. I'm so happy Troll Lord has got the ability to start publishing Gary's work that he did for them again nowadays, because yes, they did release some material for Castle Zagyg. I don't know. Mouth's getting dry. I'm talking too fast. Yeah, they did release material for Castle Zagyg. Thank you. That's probably not right either. Who knows how to pronounce this stuff? It's a play on Gygax's name backwards. Yeah, just replace the Z with an X. There you go. So I say Zagyg. Anyways, they released some of this stuff back in the early 2000s, 2005, 2006, etc. But with Gary's passing and the estate, it went out of print, and the prices for this stuff, previously first edition stuff, whatever you want to call it, first print stuff, it's astronomical. You know, I think I've seen some of the books that they were going for like $500-$600 each. So like I said, I'm very thankful that this is now back in print, and they're going to break it up into 6-volume set. Yeah? So yeah, I'm absolutely astounded. I've got to find a way I can mount this. I might do a double-sided mount inside of a poster frame, or I might just use the hex side, because the book also contains the maps here. Yeah, so it's not too hard, because in like an urban encounter or whatever, it's not so important to mark your place where you are on the map. You can just jot down, you're pretty much going to jot down in your notes anyway, where your characters are at and where they visited and such. So I might just do that, but I'm going to look to do a double-sided one because, hey, I just love maps. Anyways, guys, there's a whole lot going on around here, and we're moving and grooving to the beat. Yeah, we're kicking ass on the wild side here on the Random Encounters show. So I'm going to get to work. I've got some hours of editing on Cepheus Universal to hit tonight and throughout the week. And I'm going to try to come to you before, probably during this weekend, with some kind of review or something. Yeah, it's time to pick the video count up and start catching up as quickly as we can. Anyways, I'm Deathstalker 5. This has been the Random Encounter Show. You're the greatest gaming community online, and I'll see you guys shortly.
And this has been but one tale from the days of high adventure. You can join Deathstalker 5 on his quest by hitting that subscription button and joining his random encounter army. On the channel's About page, you will find our Facebook page and Facebook group where you can get more directly involved with the fun. And make sure you use our affiliate links to support our show.